When Russia launched its full-scale invasion of Ukraine in 2022, Kyiv wasn't thinking about victory. Survival was the only objective. At that moment, the notion that Ukraine could ever defeat Russia in a prolonged war sounded almost absurd. Russia was considered a military superpower. Ukraine was expected to collapse within weeks. That didn't happen. Fast forward to today, and the strategic picture looks dramatically different. Ukraine has proven far more resilient, adaptive, and innovative than almost anyone predicted. Russia, on the other hand, has exposed deep flaws: inefficiency, corruption, outdated tactics, and a staggering inability to learn from its own failures. What once seemed impossible now feels plausible. A Ukrainian victory no longer looks like a fantasy. Increasingly, it looks like a probability. More importantly, Kyiv believes it has a roadmap to win the war, potentially as early as 2026. That roadmap is built around a two-part strategy, each with a clear and uncompromising objective. The first objective is survival. Ukraine cannot win a war it does not outlast. To reach any decisive moment, the country must endure long enough to execute its offensives, erode Russia's capacity to fight, and eventually force the Kremlin to negotiate. Survival, therefore, is not passive. It is the foundation upon which victory depends. This is especially true in the air war. Russia now conducts near-nightly aerial assaults on Ukraine, launching hundreds of drones and dozens of missiles in coordinated salvos. As Russian drone production accelerates, the scale of these attacks continues to grow. Moscow is already capable of launching strikes that are reportedly 10 times larger than those seen in earlier years of the war. Ukraine's air defenses have performed exceptionally well, intercepting up to 80% of incoming drones on a consistent basis. But no system is perfect. Some weapons always get through. And in recent months, Russia has focused those breakthroughs on a single priority target: Ukraine's energy infrastructure. Just as Ukraine has targeted Russia's oil sector, the Kremlin has attempted to cripple Ukraine by cutting heat and electricity to civilian populations and key industries. The results have been severe. Ukraine has lost an estimated 60% of its natural gas production capacity, forcing the country to dramatically increase energy imports. Private energy companies are also under immense strain. Facilities that were struck by one or two drones in 2023 and 2024 are now being hit by larger, more destructive swarms, causing deeper damage and longer repair times. Yet Ukraine has prepared for this reality. In October 2025, President Volodymyr Zelensky revealed that Kyiv has developed multiple contingency plans. Plan A relies on domestic production and infrastructure resilience. Plan B assumes worst-case scenarios, including large-scale destruction of gas facilities, and outlines precisely where replacement imports will come from, how much they will cost, and how they will be financed. A major pillar of Plan A is redundancy. Ukraine's largest private energy investor, DTEK, has constructed emergency power facilities across the country, including a major site near Kyiv. Each facility consists of dozens of 8-foot-tall battery storage units, with a combined capacity of 200 megawatts, roughly half the output of a nuclear reactor. These systems can activate in milliseconds, stabilizing the grid when attacks knock out conventional power sources. DTK has also doubled down on renewable energy. In mid-2022, anticipating Russia's campaign against infrastructure, the company resumed construction on a €450 million, 500-megawatt wind farm in the Odessa region. While critics initially viewed the decision as risky, renewable installations have proven far more resilient than traditional power plants. Destroying a single coal facility is simple. Disabling dozens of wind turbines spread across vast areas is not. Even when turbines are damaged, repairs are relatively fast. As DTEK Renewables CEO Oleksandr Selishchev explained, wind energy is inherently decentralized and therefore easier to protect. Dozens of turbines are already operational, with many more scheduled to come online throughout 2026. The company is also planning an even larger 650-megawatt wind project. These upgrades are critical. In 2021, Ukraine's total generating capacity stood at 21.8 gigawatts. By 2025, that figure had dropped to around 17 gigawatts due to occupation and destruction. Infrastructure Minister Oleksiy Kuleba has stated that 15 to 17 gigawatts is the minimum needed to prevent widespread blackouts. To stay above that threshold, Ukraine has dispersed roughly 1 gigawatt of capacity into small, fortified units that are extremely difficult to locate and destroy. Across the country, shops, schools, offices, and businesses have installed backup generators. Around 10,000 of these locations double as heat centers during winter, offering warm refuge if residential heating fails. Whether these measures will fully withstand the growing intensity of Russian attacks remains to be seen. But what is undeniable is that Ukraine is preparing for every scenario imaginable. And if the second phase of Kyiv's strategy succeeds, survival won't need to be indefinite. Because the second objective is attack. No country wins a war by defending alone. Ukraine understands this better than most. In the early months of the invasion, Kyiv had no choice but to dig in. Only as front lines stabilized did opportunities emerge for counteroffensives, and Ukraine seized them with devastating effect. Its deep strike drone campaign has reshaped the war. Ukrainian drones have destroyed weapons depots, air defenses, ammunition stockpiles, and supply hubs. Most significantly, they have crippled Russia's oil industry, slashing production capacity and triggering an unprecedented fuel crisis. Seeing the effectiveness of this approach, Kyiv has chosen not just to continue it, but to escalate. Ukraine has built an entirely new industrial sector from scratch. Factories and warehouses across the country now employ thousands of people assembling drones, producing components, testing systems, and integrating AI-driven targeting technologies. When the war began, Ukraine had no large-scale drone industry. Today, it produces millions of unmanned systems annually, ranging from cheap decoys to advanced maritime drones like the Magura 7, capable of destroying enemy aircraft. These drones operate everywhere, along the front lines, over the Black Sea, and, most importantly, deep inside Russian territory. If you're finding this breakdown valuable, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. We publish in-depth analysis like this every week, covering the strategies, technologies, and turning points shaping modern warfare. Unlike conventional wars, this conflict is not decided at the front lines. Despite years of fighting, Russia has captured less than 1% of Ukraine's territory since late 2022. Even taking full control of Donetsk, Luhansk, Kherson, and Zaporizhia could take years. At the current pace, conquering all of Ukraine would take decades, if not centuries. This war will be decided by endurance, specifically by economic and political pressure. Ukraine's strategy is simple: make the war too expensive for Russia to continue. As one Ukrainian officer put it, Russia tolerates massive human losses, but it cannot tolerate financial collapse. That's why energy infrastructure remains the primary target. Between August and October 2025 alone, Ukrainian drones struck 16 Russian oil refineries, including sites in Samara, Volgograd, Sochi, and Ryazan. Pumping stations, pipelines, and terminals were also hit. Russian oil exports fell to record lows. Fuel shortages spread across the country. Gas stations closed. The Kremlin banned refined fuel exports in desperation. These effects didn't appear overnight. Early strikes caused limited disruption, but cumulative damage changed everything. Ukrainian long-range drone units now conduct dozens of strikes every night. Not all succeed, but enough do. Some attacks are never publicly acknowledged. Many occur in remote regions. Russian authorities suppress reports. But Ukraine tracks every impact, refining tactics and increasing lethality. Unlike Russia, Ukraine learns. Defense companies like Firepoint are driving this evolution. Their long-range drones can travel 870 miles and loiter for 7 hours. Their Flamingo cruise missile can strike targets up to 3,000 kilometers away. Ballistic missile development is underway, potentially introducing hypersonic capabilities that would overwhelm Russian defenses. As these systems mature, nowhere in Russia will be safe. Europe is backing this strategy. Germany has pledged over $10 billion, much of it directed toward drone production. Sweden has committed $7.4 billion. The EU's $7 billion drone alliance further strengthens Ukraine's capacity. Meanwhile, European states are cracking down on Russia's shadow oil fleet, tightening sanctions enforcement and targeting illicit exports. As Zelensky has said, the fastest-working sanctions are not economic restrictions. They are fires at oil refineries. By strengthening its defenses at home and relentlessly attacking Russia's economic lifelines, Ukraine is methodically shifting the balance of power. Victory, once unimaginable, now feels achievable. If you want to understand where this war is heading next, watch our next video on how Ukrainian drones are now targeting Russia's warships, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more in-depth military analysis from Ukraine and conflicts around the world.